Hey guys, this is Camper15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with some more Quintessential Quintuplets Season 2 episode review. And another good solid episode where this episode covers essentially, I guess you can say, our characters, are the quintuplets studying to become, or studying to live up to their father's expectations. And to say that by the end of the episode, I was like, I'm so happy for these sisters, man. So good. At the same time, as well as moving along some plot lines of some of the sisters having feelings for Futaro, I do like where this story is going. Anyways, let's get into the episode. Now, obviously, we all know where last week the dad freaking made an ultimatum, and he's like, okay, you need to pass this next exam, otherwise you're transferring to another school and stuff like that. So obviously the thing is, Futaro now has the passion to make sure the sisters freaking pass the exam, and the sisters also have the motivation to do it. Futaro's like, I'm gonna make you guys pass, and then I'm gonna make you guys graduate and stuff like that. So yeah, now it does a little flash in forward, which is the day of the final exam, and you just have the sisters essentially monologuing them in their heads, saying like, you know, how motivated they're ready to do this exam, how ready they're able to take the test and stuff like that. I think it was only Nino who made a mention about, you know, potentially ending up, I guess, being with Futaro. But yeah, so then we cut back 2 months ago, so we actually have a flashback where we see the sisters essentially studying and doing all this stuff and things like that. So then, you know, a week later into the third term, we see that the sisters are about to do their little studying group, but Itsuki isn't there, and we find out the reason why Itsuki isn't there is because she's there. We find out that their mother died on the 14th, so every 14th every 14th on each month, she goes to visit their mother's grave to pay their respects. And this one time she goes there, she actually runs into somebody who knew her mom, and the girl who we know, or who we see, you know, is her mom, is Shimoda, who used to be a student of her mom, and we later find out that the quintuplet's mother was a teacher back in the day, and stuff like that. And, you know, you have this nice moment between Itsuki and Shimoda where Shimoda is actually, Shimoda is actually telling Itsuki, like, things that happened on in their school when, you know, she was learning under, you know, their mother, and, you know, the mother was very strict and stuff like that. It got to the point where, like, you even had guys, like, you know, I guess you could say simping or falling in love with her because she was so pretty and everything. It's okay. Every guy has a teacher crush. Every girl has a teacher crush. So I guess you know, people sometimes think teachers are hot. I don't blame them. Some teachers I had are hot, or were hot that I knew them, and stuff like that. So that's a nice little, you know, thing which ties into Itsuki's goal of the fact we later find out at near the end of the episode that she wants to be a teacher, and stuff like that, which makes perfect sense. It seems like, you know, and even in this whole discussion she has with Shimoda, she explains the fact that, you know, she has an admiration for her mother. And I do like the fact that they're taking Itsuki's character out of, I would say, all the sisters the most. Like, I'm not trying to say all the sisters don't care, but I would say Itsuki out of the sisters the most, she has the most aspirations, or the most, you know, high achieving goals, and when it comes to getting good grades and passing exams and stuff like that, because the only way you're going to do that is you become a teacher and stuff like that. Or in order to get to the goal of becoming a teacher, you're going to have to do all that stuff. And ever since, really, you know, I would say, I think episode 3, she's really cracked down on wanting to study some more and learn some more, which again shows the fact that her character has grown from the start of the series, which I do like and stuff like that. Now, we do get a little bit of a Miku moment, a Miku thing, like the Divergent storylines kind of transfer from the episode. You have the Ichika stuff. The Ichika stuff is kind of the littlest sister thing as well. The Nino kind of doesn't do anything this episode. It seems like they're gonna hint at something next week, where I'm guessing she's starting to fall for him. Essentially, in this episode, we get we essentially know that 3 of the quintuplets are, I guess you could say, well, either have fallen in love, which is mostly Miku, and then 2 are kind of on the cusp of that. We know Nino is on the cusp of having feelings for him, but we already know she's got feelings for him. She's just denying it. And Ichika is the same way. Ichika, again, is probably the other main focus sister for like a short period of time next to Miku. And the fact that we see Ichika in some parts of this episode, especially when it comes to the Miku stuff, we see that Ichika, essentially, we're seeing that she's having feelings for Futaro, but the thing is, she's trying to suppress those feelings for Futaro that she has, and she even says, like, you know, I'm trying to do this, but every time I try to freaking suppress my feelings, he does something so kind, or he says these words that are very kind to me, and then I get wrapped back into the whole thing of falling for him. And it's like essentially for her, it's a reoccurring circle. She tries to suppress the feelings she has for Futaro, but when Futaro does something nice for her, when he's there for her, or when he shows any terms or any means of affection and care towards her, she starts to fall for him automatically again and stuff like that. So that could be an inner monologue thing. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. I didn't review season 1. I don't know if I will. I probably will sometime. But I feel like I did like the Ichika Futaro, connection they had in season 1 when, they had that heart-to-heart moment between the two when they were stuck in that shed. I really did like that part, and they're further hitting into the fact that personally Futaro and Ichika, again, like I said, I like me some Ichika. She's not my favorite sister, but I do like me some Ichika as well. Let me reword that. I love Ichika, I really do. All the sisters are, really good characters. In terms of, I'm guessing, not favorite, my favorite personally is, especially now, Nino. But the person I kind of feel like Futaro might end up with, again, all the sisters, they're all perfect in their own ways to potentially end up with Futaro. But they're really getting on me on that bandwagon of Futaro x Ichika because I really like that. Like, I would say out of all the sisters, it seems like Futaro does care about Ichika the most. I will say that, and I will admit that. But it's very interesting to bring this whole side plot up with the fact that Ichika does have feelings, but she's, I'm guessing, not ready, or she's not ready to accept that she does have feelings for him, and she's trying to throw it down. It's funny because it takes me back to My Hero Academia when Ochako tries to suppress her feelings. But again, at the end of the day, if you like somebody, as much as you try to suppress your feelings, you're gonna want to tell them, like, hey, I like you, and stuff like that. So yeah, Miku's whole thing is that she's making chocolate for Futaro, and we have this moment between Ichika and Miku, and Miku actually tells Ichika, she's like, I'm not going to, essentially allow you to freaking have the opportunity to tell him that you have feelings for him and stuff like that. And essentially Miku said, like, when I pass this test, I'm going to have the courage, I'm going to get the highest score, the best score, and I'm going to have the courage to eventually tell him, I have feelings for him, which was a nice little, side plot thing. And you kind of had Ichika to decide, she's like, yeah, I know you can do it and stuff like that. We later find out at the end of the episode, what happens. And then, now the thing that kind of makes some things happening, there's a part in their little studying montage where the sisters are obviously cooked and they're burned out. And then Futaro looks up this thing saying it's okay to take breaks every now and then. So what they happen is they have a day off, they go to the amusement park. So they're having fun at this nice amusement park, and we see that Yotsuba, who gets probably the most major focus in this episode next to Itsuki, is the fact that, we find out she's gone first. Futaro finds her on the Ferris wheel, which is a funny way, because Yotsuba's like, how did you find me? And then Futaro's like, I saw your bow on the Ferris wheel train little cart. she's like, oh, come on. But we find out, and we get some good character development from Yotsuba, is the fact that she feels like she's going to let the sisters down the most because she calls herself the dumbest one out of the bunch, which, again, she kind of is the dumbest one out of the bunch. But we get some more backstory of the fact that before they went to the high school they're currently going to with Futaro, they used to be at a more prestigious high school. And the thing is, they all failed like an exam. They were given a retest, but the only one that failed was Yotsuba. And essentially, all the sisters eventually transferred along with Yotsuba, which again, they're all great sisters to each other. They're all great sisters. They'll get into arguments like we saw earlier in this season, but they're all great sisters. Like, trust me, you know, I don't think if I had my brother, which I do have a brother, but we're not around the same age. We went to the same school and we're in the same grade. I don't think if my brother failed a class and had to transfer somewhere else, I don't think I would follow him. I'd probably just stay in the same school system. But, you know, these sisters literally did that, and Yotsuba's like, I don't want to, you know, the reason why I'm studying in this, you know, Ferris wheel cart is essentially because I don't want to let, you know, my sisters down and leave them behind, and I have to end up transferring again because I'm too dumb to do it. But then that's when Futaro's like, well, you know, I don't think you're that dumb, you know? And he looks at the fact that she can do Japanese really well, you know? And that's when Futaro comes with the idea. He's like, how about this? Since you know, and we know that each of the sisters have a specific, you know, subject that they're, you know, they have a strength towards. So that's when Futaro comes with the idea. He's like, why don't you guys use your strengths, and when we're doing that subject, you teach the others alongside with me. And that's what they do for the next 2 months to prepare and stuff. When we see a talk between Itsuki and Futaro, and Itsuki makes mention, like, you know, what you did by making us actually help teach the sisters has actually helped, you know, a lot, and it's made things, you know, click faster. You have this moment between Yotsuba and Itsuki when Itsuki's helping Yotsuba with, I believe, was math, and essentially Yotsuba's like, oh, really? Now I understand that more and stuff like that. So obviously it's like, use your strengths, and guess what? It helps the entire group, and it made things more efficient. So then it cuts over to the test day, and you know, you see Yotsuba, and then Futaro comes across her. She starts crying, and we find out that Yotsuba passed the exam. We meet up at Futaro's job, his bakery job, whatever he does, and we find out that all the other sisters have passed. The one who got the highest score is Ichika, which is very freaking interesting to say the least, because like I said earlier in the review, Miku said she wanted to be the one with the highest score, and we find out that Ichika has the highest score. And the thing is, that was at the time before Miku looked like she was about to tell Futaro about, you know, how she felt about him and stuff like that. And Miku kind of gives a look like, what? So obviously we could maybe get a butting heads type of thing, you know, the fact that maybe Miku sees that maybe Ichika now has feelings for Futaro. Obviously, again, I think there's a reason why Ichika got and worked her butt off to get the highest grade, because obviously she wants to impress Futaro like how Miku said she wanted to impress him and stuff like that. And Miku even said in that discussion, I want Futaro to see us as girls, not as students and stuff like that. Now, we also see that Nino, she also passed, but she's not there. And then the episode essentially ends off with Futaro leaving to go get Nino, because he said, I want all you guys to celebrate this accomplishment together. So I'm guessing we're gonna get a moment between Futaro and Nino at the start of the episode, but a good episode. I'm proud that the sisters passed an exam. They still gotta graduate. Of course they still gotta graduate, but I'm happy that, you know, these sisters, they have come a long way in this series. If you're watching the anime up to this point, of the fact that they were like literally failing things, and you know, now even if in some of the cases of the sisters they barely passed, they passed at the end of the day, and they got, you know, a good job. So now they can show it to their father, and guess what? They don't have to transfer and stuff like that. So it was a good episode. Again, I think even last week I predicted that they're gonna probably more than likely just barely pass their exams. But obviously you see that they're definitely improving in their studies, which is good to see. But again, it was a good episode. I really enjoy this show. Like, this show is great, not only just for the romance purposes, because it's like, oh, who is he gonna end up with? Who is he gonna end up with? But I like this show because you see the growth that they're going from. Again, I said it thousands of times. You go from episode 1 of season 1 to where they're at now, they're significantly much more smarter, and you can see that they actually have more of a pride to take their studies more seriously, and I really do appreciate that. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm gonna get out of here. So if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Quintessential Quintuplets reviews. Again, if you want to get any update to whatever I'm uploading to the channel, hit that notification bell icon and you'll get the update to everything you see going forward. Also, to people who watch the English dub, I don't know when the English dub is coming out. I've been doing my research and looking up through everywhere I can to see is the English dub for Quintessential Quintuplets Season 2 out, but no, it has not given an announced date. I will probably announce a release date of that in a video, either talking about a review or even a separate video. But yeah, I'll make sure to update you guys with that. And yeah, so anyways, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're checking out this video. Until then, guys, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, guys, peace.